Ross Tucker, Greg Cosell from NFL Films, talking about the Browns' defense.
Still have some high-level defensive
Yeah.
players. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. It's a shame about Owusu Koromoa. They need
Yeah.
Schlesinger to step up right away. And they got Mason Graham, a top 5 pick at D tackle.
Yeah, and I think they knew about Owusu Koromoa, which is why they took Schlesinger. It's a really good defense. Jim Schwartz is still there. It's a very good secondary. They got really solid corner play. They have Delpit's a really good safety. I think the player who I thought emerged last year because he played a lot of snaps was Ronnie Hickman, who was a Ohio State player who I actually really liked his college tape and was kind of surprised. I don't think he was drafted, which kind of surprised me. But and then they've got some young players, obviously, on that D line. Graham is, Graham is just a high energy player. He's explosive, but he's not a great pass rusher. But he's a really dynamic, explosive, competitive player. I'm very anxious to see the development of Isaiah McGuire, a 4th-round pick in 2023 out of Missouri, a player whose tape I liked. He's not sudden or twitchy, but to me, he's a really solid player. And then Mike Hall was a 2nd-round pick from Ohio State last year. Healthy, that kid, to me, can be a really dynamic interior pass rusher. That's what he does best.
Mary Kay, let's talk a little bit about a couple of those players. So when you think of Jim Schwartz's defense, he always has a defensive tackle that just creates havoc. There was Albert Hainsworth, Fletcher Cox, and Ndamukong Suh. Do you think Mike Hall, Mason Graham can be those kind of defensive tackles? I know we're pushing them up a little bit, but that system makes it so those guys can create some havoc.
Well, that is the goal and the hope. That is what they want to see. They want to have Mason Graham and Mike Hall in there wreaking a lot of havoc, getting to the quarterback, getting in the backfield, getting tackles for losses, maybe getting their hands up, batting down some passes. They want that disruption and that pressure from the interior. And where is a quarterback going to go if you've got those two guys getting a push up the middle, and then you've got Myles Garrett and Alex Wright and Isaiah McGuire and Obo on the outside? So these are some things to think about. But I do think that that's the hope, is that those two guys in the middle are really going to make a huge impact. Now, of course, the first thing they have to do is get Mike Hall back on the field. We haven't seen him yet, and he's coming off of a knee surgery. So I don't know when he's going to be ready. It's shrouded in a tiny bit of mystery, but also Andrew Berry has gotten to the point where he doesn't like to make too many offseason predictions about when a player is going to be back, because last year he was very optimistic about the tackles all being back and ready for the start of the season. It didn't work out that way, and now he's being more judicious in that space.
Assuming you get one of those guys that pops, Graham or Hall in the middle, how much better does that make I'm kind of laughing because I'm saying this. How much better does that make Myles Garrett?
Well, it could make Myles Garrett better. It could take a little heat off of him, a little pressure off of him. But he always has another gear. Every time we talk to a defensive line coach of his, he always believes that Myles can hit another gear, and Myles feels that way too. And we know that Jimmy Haslam kind of threw down the gauntlet a little bit just in terms of Myles being even more of a leader this year. And then Jim Schwartz did the same thing by setting himself up to have a career season. So I think there is something else that Myles has to offer. And I think it would come in the form of just more disruption, more takeaways, more just big plays, more forced fumbles and things like that.
So the other guy that we heard Greg Cosell talk about in glowing terms is Ronnie Hickman, and Jim Schwartz had said that. We tend to, last year was 3-14, and he missed a lot of games. How good, how much are they expecting out of Ronnie Hickman?
Well, this is a chance for Ronnie Hickman to be a starting safety this year. Now, he's got a couple veterans that he's going to have to make sure that he beats out, and these guys have a lot of really good experience. But it really is a chance for him to go in there as a young player and show what he can do, and be paired with a Grant Delpit, and just make a big impact this year. And from the moment he set foot on the field as a rookie, he just kind of played like somebody who actually I think should have been drafted, and he wasn't. And so he probably carries that chip on his shoulder. But I think he's kind of got that big play ability. And I think he'll have way more of an opportunity to show it this year.